Well, hey everybody! Welcome back to our next episode. This will be episode number 3 of our playthrough of Darkest Night. This is Doug Herring on YouTube, Doug at Mystic Eye on Board Game Geek. Just welcoming you back to this. It's been fun so far and challenging as usual, which is typical of this game. We're going to dive right in. I don't have any particular corrections I need to make at this point, so we're going to get moving and start with our turns. Obviously, if you're just tuning into this for the first time, I highly recommend you back up to the first episode and start from there so you understand where we're at in the game and what's going on. So, I also thoroughly describe how to play in that. I did want to tell you one thing. So, when me and my friends have played this, we decided that it's kind of lent more variety to pull a different card and reshuffle them multiple times when you're putting things out. And that kind of became our way of doing it. But that's actually not the rules. The rules are you just draw one card for like blights and you just go down and put them all out. And we can do that too. And since it is rules, I'm probably going to start doing that just so you can see how it's played correctly and all that good stuff. But where do we stand? Well, simple actually. We got the Necromancer. He's up here by himself. He has put some specters in the... Dropped some specters in the mountains, and there was already a corruption, which does not allow you to use bonuses. And someone said, so I should have rolled 2 dice for something up there in the mountains, but I believe it was the scout that was up there, and her elude ability that gives her, or whatever ability it was that gives +1 dice, the treasure maps, is not a bonus. It is an action, followed by an active. The action is to activate it, and when active it does a certain thing for the end of the turn. So that was valid. But we're going to get started and keep on going. I think as I look at this, I am thinking I am going to start with the druid, who is probably going to finally finish off the crows. And one thing I do have to remember to do, and it's common to forget for people in this game, are event cards. I don't know why it is. Someone suggested a very nice explanation that psychologically on the first turn you get yourself in a rhythm already of coming out of the monastery not drawing an event card. So that could be true. But anyway, let's get busy and start going with, let's start with our druid. And he may just continue to evade the crows and for now search so we can see if we can start finding keys. We need them badly. Let's zero in there and see what we're going to do. Down here in the misty forest is our druid, and the first thing we have to do for him on his turn is draw an event card. And the event card that we drew is the Black Banner. So we're going to count the blights in our location. It's 1. So we encounter a archer of the enemy under a black banner. We have a choice. We can defend or evade. And since I don't want my animal companion to be hurt in any way, we are going to evade, which is going to be here. So we need a 4 or better. Let's go to the dice bowl, rather, and take a look at what we're going to do. So the druid has the ability of camouflage, and it allows us to elude with 2 dice. So that's what we're going to use. And we're going to just put that right there so we can see it. I think we'll... adjust over just a little bit, get our 2 dice out, and we're going to have to roll a 4 or better on these 2 dice. He did not, so he took so again you see this symbol, he would be killed were it not for his grace. So he did not do well against that. That puts him at a 4, and this is exactly what I didn't want to fight, because if we had fought we would have lost our animal companion. But we did not do that. We tried to elude, so he actually was not wounded, so he is currently at a 4 out of 5 grace. Now, next thing he's going to do is search. He's got nothing special to search there. And in the forest, the search is a difficulty of 4. So when we roll our 1 die, we have to roll a 4 or better again. You saw how well that went when we had 2 dice. How well do you think it's going to go when we have 1? But we're going to give it a try anyway. Okay, so for his action, he is searching. Oh, he rolled a 6. Brilliant. So what do we do when we succeed at our search? We draw a map card. Now in the forest it looks like treasures and keys are the best things that you can find there, so we're going to flip it over. We're going to look in the forest, and we did get a key. That is brilliant. So the first 3 keys were found by the druid. Here is a key. See, it nicely tells us that's a key on the back, even though it does actually look like a key. And we're going to, there's some whacked out dog barking in the neighbor's yard somewhere. Anyway, we're going to put this key on his sheet right here, showing that he has one of the 3 keys that we need to unlock a relic. Now, that's basically his actions, so we are going to end his turn, but before we do that, he has to evade the crows in his area. I don't know if you can hear it on the tape, but that dog has or the film, that dog has the most annoying bark. I wonder whose it is. Anyway, these are the crows. And by the way, I love dogs. I have one myself. I love animals, but that one's annoying. We're going to have to evade them with a 4 or less. We're going to lose 2 secrecy now. That's a bit problematic because the secrecy, his secrecy is currently only a 3, and I don't want to go any higher. And we don't get anything for searching. Like, it doesn't help us to, when we search the area, it does not help us get any more secrecy or anything, even though we're wandering around the forest. But let's roll against the crows. Now we're going to evade, so that means we still get our camouflage of 2 dice to roll. Okay, let's see if we can do it. Oh man, big time. Okay, so he eluded the crows, and that will mark the end of our druid's turn. It was a good turn for the druid. He did he did get hurt by an archer as he was in the forest, but he did find a key and then was able to evade the crows. Let's next go on. I'm trying to do, we got 2 simpler turns and then 2 more difficult turns. So we're going to go to the wizard next. Now, the wizard is here in the swamp, and we have a couple of choices. We could search here, and again, he doesn't have any specific ability to search. I think what we're actually going to do with him is we're going to move to the ruins. Okay, now moving does allow him to gain a secrecy, but as you can see, he's already maxed out. He is also invisible, which means that he's going to get to use 2 dice to elude, or plus 2 dice to elude rather, which is going to give him 3, and he can deactivate and exhaust if we fail a combat or use another tactic, which we have not done. And that's going to be important because in moving there, he's got to deal with 2 blights. He's got these skeletons, which he can elude with a 4. And he's got these spies, now, which automatically cause him to lose 1 secrecy. So he's going to go from a 7 back down to a 6. But again, not a big deal because he's got quite a bit of secrecy right now. But we do have to deal with these skeletons. Now remember, he's invisible, so he gets to use 3 dice to elude. He's got to roll a 4 or less, or sorry, or yeah, a 4 or better. Okay, here we go. He rolled, oh man, that was tight. He only rolled 1 success there. Okay, he succeeded regardless, so he's invisibly snuck into the ruins where he's probably going to try and take out those skeletons next turn, or maybe even the spies, and then search for keys and all kinds of cool stuff. But that was the turn of the wizard. So we will mark that turn done for him. And I think now we're going to move on to the scout. Yes, let's move on to the scout. Oh, but you know what I didn't do for the wizard? Again, I keep talking about this. I did not draw his event card when he moved. So we're going to draw the event for the wizard before I leave his turn. It says, close call, roll 1d6. Well, he could take another stretch. Oh man, this is not a good card. So the best thing he can do is a 5 or 6 and have no effect. But let's go do that. He's fully healthy. If he does lose a grace or something, it's not the end of the world. But he rolled a 1, which is a grace. Wizard's not a super strong dude, so he's at a 2 right now. Which, okay, now that does complete his turn. Now we're going to move on to the scout and draw her event card. Since I said it first, maybe I won't forget. Okay, or I won't forget now. Here's the scout. She's here. We're trying to get rid of these guys here and then also deal with this inn. But I'm thinking that we only have 2 more turns to deal with that, so that's not a good thing. But we also, if we don't get rid of this and we get the item which it provides, which is a waystone, well, we don't have to get rid of it, just doesn't have any effect there, so we'd have to move away. That's okay, not a big deal. But let's draw our scout's event. Dead servants. We're going to compare it to her secrecy. Well, her secrecy is a 3. So we're in the middle here. She's going to be dealing with an archer. It's a 4/4. I believe that she is going to elude because she gets +1 to her dice to elude. Okay, why does she get +1 to her dice? Well, because of the speed tactic. She can elude with 1 dice and add 1 to your highest die. I can exhaust it to roll after rolling to add 2. So if she is a near failure, we can do that. But I'm not going to. I'm going to suffer the hit from these guys. She's got more grace. She got a boon from a hidden chapel that gave her more grace. So let's see if she can roll 4 better and successfully elude these dark servants. She does with a 5, so this card has no effect on her. And then we get to take an action in the space. Action is going to be to help reopen the closed inn. And the quest is, a roadside inn was badly damaged in a skeleton attack. Help rebuild it and restore travel through the region. If we do that, we get a waystone from it. So basically, we just have to take an action. So the scout's action is to take an action, help rebuild and reopen the inn. So this marker is going to go right here. There needs to be one more on there to successfully complete this quest of the closed inn. Okay, well, let's keep going. Now that we've done that, the scout is also going to have to deal with some crows who are in that region. And again, we're going to need to evade with a 4. Good news is that the scout still gets that +1 from her speed tactic. Or I was saving the ability to exhaust it to see if we can evade these guys even further. And we did roll a 3 +1 for the speed tactic, which is this card here. So we succeeded. She evaded the crows. Okay, and that is going to end our scout's turn. We only have one character left for this turn, where we're going to probably do a couple of turns, and that is our Paragon, who is in the same space as the scout. Now, we have 2 more turns to deal with the inn, so I'm thinking that the Paragon may attempt to take out these crows. Now, the Paragon has a tactic that he can use with this. It's called Fight, or Rebuke rather. Fight with 2 dice if you have any active auras, which we don't. There's an extra bonus, but we don't have an extra aura. He is, however, hurt, so I hope he succeeds at that. But if we can get rid of the crows, we no longer have to evade them, and we have yet another blight off the table. But, of course, before we do that, we do have to draw the Paragon's event card. Oh, yuck. Horde. Compared to Secrecy. Well, that's good because the Paragon has a Secrecy of 6. So it's 4+, means it's small. So it's a 4 to defend and a 3 to elude. Well, he is steadfast, so he's going to use this card. It says +1 on all rolls to defend against blights. Well, that's not a blight, that's an event card, so that's not going to help. Maybe he will fight and use his rebuke. He's going to try and fight the horde, defend himself against the horde. Okay, since that's not a blight, he needs 2 dice. And he's going to have, now if he does roll this, his secrecy is going to 0. That doesn't mean he's dead. He's got to get back to and get healed. But let's see. Now, this may change what his turn does if he fails at this. Anyway, let's roll against this horde. We're going to defend against the horde here. And, oh, he succeeded big time. So he was fine against the horde. He rebuked them, sent them packing as they came through the castle. He and the scout on the castle walls drove off a horde using tactics around the castle to do so, while trying to open up an inn. Okay, now we're going to go back, and I think we're going to deal with these crows. Alright, well, he does. I'm a little nervous about his health. His grace is very low. As an action, we can gain 2 up to a grace up to his default, which is nowhere near. If you have an active aura, you must deactivate one. We don't. So, and all heroes at your location, including you, gain 1. Oh, that's if we deactivate the aura. So he can get 2. His other extra power was an aura. I should have done that, but I didn't. So do we take out the crows? Do we heal? What do we do? I don't know. And we don't know where the wonderful creature necromancer is going next turn either. Well, if he does take on the crows, he's going to lose a secrecy. I don't know if that's such a bad thing. He's got to do something against the crows, and he can only defend against them. So I'd rather attack them, because he's not as good at eluding. So that's what we're going to do. He's going to attack the crows. In doing so, his secrecy is going to go down 1. And to defeat the crows now is a blight instead of defending against them. So this again, the black text is what happens when we are in their space at the end of our turn. We have to defend against them in this case. We're going to do that and see if we can take them down. So I got my 2 dice handy. He is using his rebuke ability to fight the crows that are there. Let's see if he can do it. He failed and did not get rid of the crows. So what is the penalty for that? The penalty for failing at that is to lose a secrecy, and so that will put him down to a 4 secrecy. Not the best thing that could have happened, but not the worst either. And that will end the Paragon's turn, as you can see, will end all the players' turns. So we're going to go on to the Necromancer's turn. The thing that happens is we're going to put another time token on here. We only got one more before we lose the closed in, but we will succeed at that one. It's not the end of the world. And then we're going to move the darkness track up to 6. That's bad. And then we're going to take our handy Necromancer dice and see where the Necromancer goes, or if he spots somebody. Now the Necromancer doesn't have a huge opportunity to spot somebody this turn, so he may just move randomly. So let's see what happens here. We rolled a 5, so he didn't actually spot anybody. Oh, well, wait a second. Yes, he did. He spotted the Paragon. He spotted the Paragon, and he spotted the Druid. So the Paragon and Druid. Now, yeah, I think that he is going to move toward the closest hero. Well, so he detected the Druid, but see, the Druid has the monastery in between, so he can't actually move through there. So he is going to go here. He's on the hunt for the Paragon in that area. Now, he can't actually detect the Paragon because the Paragon does not have a secrecy of 0. He just knows the Paragon is there somewhere. So we are going to draw a card again. By the way, when I was talking about setting up, I was talking about using the one map tile to seed the whole table. That was the whole board. That was for the initial setup, not for now. Anyway, we are in the castle. So what do we get? Oh, a vampire. That's not good. Vampires are awfully bad. So the Necromancer comes there and really wants to get to our heroes who are trying to restore this inn and do all these terrible things to his crows. So he summons a dreaded vampire. And the vampire is, look at this bad boy, 4/4 fail, but we need a 6 to defeat this blight. There's 3 blights there, so we've got to get rid of the blights there now. Even though, once again, I think our scout is going to have to deal with the inn, because we've got to finish that too. I may have the it's possible that I might have the wizard even go there. Of course, none of us can fight the Necromancer yet, so that's a bad thing. Okay, but that's going to end our turn, so we're going to wrap around, and we are going to flip over all the tokens and start a new turn with our guys here. Okay, let's get going. I think we'll start with the Druid again. He's doing okay down the forest, and I think he might keep looking for keys. I don't know, but he still does have to deal with the crows and an event and blah, 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 blah. So let's do that. Okay, well, here's our mighty Druid. So we're going to draw the event card for the Druid. I wish these were good, but they rarely are. Oh, wait, what's this? This might be good. Okay, the ritual. You may spend 1 grace and lose 1 secrecy to cancel this event. Count the blights in your location. 1. Okay. A new blight appears there. At least the Necromancer doesn't move there. So I think I already used his visions ability, so we're going to suck that up. Let's see what we get. We are in the forest. So what happens in the forest? A desecration. Well, at least we can deal with it this turn. That's not a terrible thing. But we do know what his turn's going to be now, right? He's not going to be searching, because desecrations are bad. The desecration, if you recall, is the one that adds 1 to the doom track each turn. So that goes with the Druid there. That was his event. And as a result of that, we now know what he has to do. He is going to attack. He and his animal companion are going to attack the desecration. So again, to keep you up to speed, the animal companion allows the Druid to fight with 2 dice, and we have them here. So he needs to roll a 4 or better to get rid of that desecration, and we're definitely going to have to do that. And he did, big time. Our Druid is doing well. So this desecration has been destroyed and goes back. The Druid loses a secrecy, putting him down to 2. Yuck. Rough. Okay. And now he still has to deal with these crows. It's not very good. Now, the Druid also gets 2 dice to elude because of his camouflage skill. So we have to roll 4 better to evade the crows, otherwise we're going to lose more secrecy, and that's not a good thing. And he succeeded with 1/4. Okay, so he's evaded the crows again while destroying a desecration. And he's being as effective as possible for the scenario he's in. Anyway, that will end his turn. And I think now we're going to our wizard friend. Okay, our wizard's down here with these skeletons and these spies in the ruins. But first we have to draw an event card for him. anathema. So some horrible anathema overtakes him, and he loses a grace, just flat out loses a grace. And I have no way to counter that, so that's going to put him at a 1. Yuck. Well, you know what? He could search there, see if we get lucky. We do have this. You know, I got to remember this, but if we use this, we have to activate it. It's an action. I should have done it last turn while he was in a place where it was safer for him to do it. But we can then roll twice for the Necromancer's movement and choose a result. That includes that means his ability to spot others. He is invisible though. He's going to get 2 dice to elude there. So I think what we're going to do this turn actually is search. We got to start searching and getting the keys, or we're going to be out of luck. Okay, well, unfortunately, the wizard's he doesn't have any special search ability, so he just gets to roll a d6. He's got to roll a 4 or better. He did exactly. He rolled a 4. So we're going to draw a map tile, see what he gets there. I mean, the reason I'm doing that, he's not in horrible danger there. He just loses secrecy. Well, the skeletons might hurt him. And he is hurt, actually, so that might have been stupid, but that's done. So, and he gained a key in the ruins. Sweet, that was what we needed. That's second key of 3. If we can get ourselves together, there's a key. It's going on his character sheet. And now he has to evade the skeletons. The spies, he automatically loses a secrecy, but let's start with the skellies. Now he's invisible, so he's got 3 dice to evade them. He needs a 4 better on 3 dice. I think he's okay. We'll see. Oh my lord. This will leave him at 0 grace, which is a bad thing. It leaves him very vulnerable there. He's probably going to have to flee the area and get back to the monastery. We'll have to see. We won't have to see. But anyway, by the way, I also flipped the token for the wizard. That is the end of his turn. And he lost a battle. So his active ability now becomes deactive and exhausted. So that's not good either. His invisibility came off him when he failed his invisibility roll with 3 1s. Wonderful! Okay, anyway, that was his turn, and I think we did, yes, we did, that's why he got hurt so bad. He drew that anathema first. So we're going to now bounce to the scout, and we're going to draw the scout's event card. Scout's up here with the necromancer and the paragon. Oh, but first, we got to follow our turn order, and since the necromancer is in her space, she goes down to a 2 secrecy. Okay, so now we draw an event card. Boom. And it is a haunt. So compared to secrecy of 2, this is not good because it's the worst one. It's a phantom. Requires a 4/4, and if we fail, we lose a turn. That is really bad. Good news is we do get we're going to elude with a +1 on our die roll. Again, +1 on our die roll to do that. Now, if she manages to do that, I think once she's going to do the inn, and then next turn, because her secrecy will be down to 1, she's going to bogart it cross country, get the heck out of there, and it'll gain her 2 secrecy and get her out of the area. She can use her cross country scouting skill. But first, let's roll our die. We need to roll 4 better, and add 1 to the roll. A 6. Sweet. So she did not suffer the effect of that. That's great. Now, there are vampires in there, so she's going to have to evade them too. She's healthy, though. She's super healthy. But the next thing we're going to do is, while we're dodging vampires, we're going to complete this with an action. That's her action. So what does that do? That's going to take all these tokens off this. It's going to gain her a waystone, which looks like this, minus the little frame piece of cardboard. It basically looks like that. That's going to go on her character sheet. Now, one time she can use that to move anywhere she wants. That's another option aside from using her cross country. And we have thus completed this quest. I really wanted the paragon to get that, but she had to get it. We couldn't let it expire. We would have gained the darkness track. So that quest is done. Done. Okay. We still have things to deal with up here in this wonderful area. I think we'll start with the crows. Boom. So she's going to evade the crows. She needs to roll her dice, which if you recall is a 1 die, and she needs to roll a 4 or better. A 4. She did. Now she gets +1. So that was a 5 in her book. And now she has to do the same thing with the vampires, and they too are a 4. Let's hope for at least a 3 or better. Good shot. Good chance. A 2. However, she can exhaust her speed. She's getting out of there next turn, that is for sure, because she's going to exhaust her speed to tap that and make this a 4. So she, well, does she want to or just take the hit from the vampires? She's still got more grace than her starting grace, so I think she's just going to take the hit. I want to save that. I don't want to lose my +1. So she is going to go down to a 4 grace and keep that unexhausted. And I'm flipping her token to end her turn. Now, the Paragon is there, and I think the Paragon is going to have to take something down if he can. Now, he's got his Rebuke. He's also injured badly. But he's got his Rebuke, and I think we're going to have to get rid of... Man, it's a 6 to get rid of the vampires, but they are far more dangerous than the crows. So I think we're going to take out the vampires if we can. First, though, he loses his secrecy because the Necromancer's in his space. And then we are going to draw an event card. Another Dead Servant. So, compared to secrecy of 3, so it's an archer again, a 4/4. Might as well fight them with the Rebuke. So use our defense attempt, I guess. Yeah, we're going to defend against these Dead Servants. Here we go. We can. It's a 4. Let's see if he gets it. He rolled a 6, so he's fine. He succeeded against that. Now he's going to use his Rebuke tactic again to attempt to kill the vampires. I forgot to move to the bowl when I rolled that last one, but he did make it. He rolled a 6. Now we're going to roll again and see... let me check something. So I keep debating if I want to use this and gain the 2 grace before I end up in more of a battle. He's only got 1 grace left, but I still... God, I just think we need to get rid of these vampires. I really do. There's 3 blights there. We got to get rid of something. I could get rid of the crows. It's a little easier. I only need a 5. But they only take secrecy. It got to be the vampires. Got to be the vampires. Okay, a 6. Awesome. We succeeded with our Rebuke in killing the vampires. That was really, really effective. So we did succeed at that. But that's not... There is a problem with that, and that is his secrecy is starting to get low. So... I mean, we got the Scout at a 2 and the Paragon at a 2. The odds are the Necromancer is going to stay there. And that also ends his... Well, it doesn't end his turn. I got to evade the crows, but I'll flip his marker, then we'll go back and evade the crows. Okay, he's only going to get 1 dice to evade them. He can't defend against them. So, he rolled a 5, so he succeeded and evaded the crows. Awesome stuff. But that ends his turn. So now we have another problem. And that is, the Necromancer is going to spot these clowns. But at least there aren't any quests or anything to get time markers, so that puts our shadow track, or darkness track, up to 7. Bummer. Okay, now we're rolling for our Necromancer. See what he gets. A 1. Perfect! He actually didn't spot anybody. He's going to stay there with the Paragon and the Scout regardless, but he's just staying there. Oh wait, if he didn't spot anybody, we would move him on the 1 track, right? Let's go look. He lost the track of the Paragon and the Scout in the castle. This is a good thing, because he rolled a 1, and a 1 takes him to the swamp where there's no blights or anything. I think that is good. So we're going to look at that. We're going to draw some skeletons for the swamp. That is not the worst thing that could happen. Skellies are pretty wimpy overall. There they are. They are going right here. Boom. And that is that's going to be the end of our turn again. So let's see. Do we want to go a long one and put another round in here, or do we want to end it here? I think, we're sure getting somewhere in this game. I'm kind of enjoying playing it. Why don't we keep a turn going and see what happens? So first off, we're gonna flip all these tokens back. We got 2 out of 3 keys. Not too bad. Not too bad. And now we're going to continue on with our quest. I think we'll start with the Druid again. He's there with the crows. He's been doing really good against them. And I think we're going to see if we can find another key there. First, we're going to have to draw his event card. Remember, he's in the forest. Betrayal. Somebody betrayed him in the forest. Some woodsman or something that he knows betrayed him. That's bad because that puts his secrecy at a whopping 1. Good thing he's not fighting anything there, I guess. But anyway, let's... and now the Necromancer's 2 steps away from him, so he's still safe. But let's do our... Let me think. Yeah, he's only 1 away from the monastery in the forest if he has to flee. Let's do a search. A 4. He succeeded again in the forest with a search. It has a difficulty of 4. So we are going to pull a map tile and see what he gets in the forest. He got another key, guys. That is awesome. That means he has 2 of 3 keys that he needs to open up the blah blah blah. So if the wizard moves to his space, which he is, by the way, he's going to flee like crazy, then they can actually trade items. And I got to remember how that works. I haven't done that in a while, but we'll figure that out. Okay, that was his action. Now he's got to, remember he's in the forest and he's got to evade these crows. Now he's got 2 to elude because of his awesome camouflage ability. He needs to roll 4 better. He does. He rolls a 5, so he is fine. And that is going to be the end of his turn. What a good turn for him again. Searching for 2 keys. He's hanging out in the forest where he belongs, camouflaging himself. And he did get betrayed in some little village where they told an agent of the necromancer that he was in the area. It hurt his secrecy, but them's the breaks. And now we're going to move on. Okay, let's go to the wizard next, because that makes some sense. Okay, our poor wizard, he's very secret, but he's in a bad place. So, do we move him? Do we attack the skeletons? We got the spies there. They're going to continue to make him lose secrecy. If he stays there, he again could search for keys, or he can go help the druid. Blarg. There's nothing in the village. I mean, he could go to the village. He's got a high secrecy, but we can get the 3rd key and unlock a relic. But as soon as we unlock a relic, whoever's carrying that relic is going to lose secrecy every turn as well. And I don't think I have anybody. Well, no, I don't have anybody that can it would be easy for them to kill the necromancer. I'm not sure what to do here. We need like something that gives us a combat bonus other than just 2 dice, because we have to roll 7 to beat the necromancer. Now, when you have a relic, I believe the holy relics do give you a +1 to adds 1 to your highest dice, so you can achieve a 7 that way, but that's not the ideal way to do it. However, let's take the wizard up through the village first. Okay, so the wizard's here. He's going to make a dash to the village. His secrecy is going to go back up to 7. Actually, it's a maximum of 5, so it's going to stay at 6 is what's going to happen. And he goes there fleeing these skeletons and the spies that are in the ruins. Not the best solution for him. Oh, but before we do that, hold on. We've got to draw an event card. Upheaval. Remove all blights from your current location. Oh! Create an equal number of blights. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what's going to happen there is these skeletons and these spies go away. So we're just going to put them back in their little respective piles. We're going to draw a map deck, and it's going to give us a crows in the ruins. More crows in the ruins. There. Boom. And you know what the crows do already. We've seen them a bunch of times. So the crows are there, and then we're going to draw again, and in the ruins we get a dark fog. This might change his turn, actually. Might change his turn, because he's got plenty of secrecy. And this is dark fog +2 to search difficulty. Well, that actually does change his turn. He's definitely leaving. I think he's going to go to the village, because there's a good chance he can learn additional skills at the village, and that's helpful. So he did beeline it to the village, and that was his action and the end of his turn. There's nothing in the village to go after him. He's got a very high secrecy, so the necromancer's not likely to be chasing him. Okay, now we're going to go to the Paragon and the Scout. They are in a good place. So the question of the day is, do they stay there and duke it out with these blights? Do they search? See, I wish that she had her treasure map still, the Scout, because it would give us a +1 when searching, and all the heroes here are +1 when searching, but she's had that deactivated for quite some time. So I'm debating. First off, though, we have to draw an event card, and they're never very good. Oh wait, what's this? A latent spell. Lose 1 secrecy, then spend 1 grace or to discard this event. What can we do? No effect to move to another location. Draw a power card. Oh, we're doing this, baby. So we're going to lose a secrecy for her. That means she's at a 1 secrecy. She's got 3 grace, because it says lose 1 secrecy, then spend 1 grace or discard this event. Well, we're not going to do that. So let's go to the dice bowl. Okay, well, I really want to roll a 5 or 6. A 4 would be okay. She can move to any location as well. That's not terrible, but 5 or 6 would be best. Let's see what we get. A 5. Which one's a 5? Draw a power card. So Let's go to the Scout. Okay, we're going to draw a power card. Let's shuffle these bad cards up, see what we get. Hopefully get something really awesome. I mean, you can't go wrong with a power card, that's for sure. Let's see. Okay, let's do this one. What's this? Probe defenses. I don't know, that one doesn't sound that great, but it's a bonus. Activate your location anytime. All blights are -1 there. Deactivate and exhaust at the end of the next round. Well, that would give the Paragon the ability to take out a blight on a turn. Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? If that's a good power, we'll just place it right here for now. Yeah, we'll place it right there. We know what we got there. Okay, so we got that new power for the Scout. And that was a card. That wasn't a power, or it wasn't a. That was an event card, not her action. So for her action, well, see, she's not a good fighter. I don't think we're going to try and take on these blights. The Paragon gets to do that. Maybe not this turn though. Yeah, I think. Well, we could move her, but the castle's not a bad place. So we could also, well, let's activate her probe defense, because in the Paragon, so it's not an action, it's just a bonus. So we activated that. So now all blights are -1 there until they're deactivated. So we got 2 5s, so they're 4s for the Paragon to destroy. And then I think for her actual action, she could take on one of those blights, but I think she's going to search. She doesn't get any bonuses for it, but that's okay. The castle requires a search of... Oh, it's only difficulty 2. We're definitely doing that. Okay. Right, here we go. A 3, so she did succeed. We're going to pull a map tile and see what she gets there in the castle. Castle Dark. A tome. Nice. I think that gives her a power, if I recall. I'm going to take a quick peek at a tome and see what that gives her. Well, it's a Tome of Retraining. Discard any time to put one of your power cards on the bottom of its deck and then draw 2 power cards. Keeping both? Well, duh, we're not even going to pull that bad book out. We're going to do that. And I'm going to use the one she just exhausted. It doesn't say it can't be. So here's her token. It's a little book. It's really neat looking, right? But she's going to wait, actually, because I'll remind you why. Items have no effect. She can't use her item here. This is an item. So that's going to go on her card. That's going to basically be the end of her turn. I'm going to flip that, but we still have to go back and deal with the crows. So her bonus doesn't apply. Her bonus of -1 might this turn in probe defenses doesn't apply to eluding. So, but she does get a +1. So let's see if she can elude these guys. And she does with a 4. So she does not get spotted by the crows. That ends her turn. Okay, now we just got the Paragon left to go. He's in the same location with her. He's going to draw his event card. Uh-oh, there's a nasty demon there. And we're going to compare it to a secrecy of 2. So it's deadly. Oh, nasty. So it's 5 to elude, 4 to fight. We're going to fight because we got our rebuke ability. Hopefully it doesn't take any damage, but let's do it. We got to go over the dice bowl and kill ourselves a demon. So we need a 4 on 2 dice. 2 3s, of course not. Well, that actually does lose a grace. Look at that. We're at 0 grace. That's the second character who has no grace right now. That is a bad, bad thing. Very bad, bad thing. So, I've committed the Paragon to getting rid of a blight. Now keep in mind that if he's only going to lose secrecy if he fails against the crows. So he's still going to use his rebuke ability. It's going to give him 2 dice against Yana crows. And we'll see if we can get rid of him. Okay, so we're going to continue to use our rebuke ability. That gives us 2 fight dice against these crows. Now the crows normally would need a 5 to defeat, but the probe defenses for the Scout is still active until the end of the next round, or the end of the round actually. So here's our 2 dice. We need to roll a 4 better. We rolled a 5 and a 3, so the crows have been defeated. I could take out the other one, the decay. I don't think it matters. I think we're going to take the decay out. The reason being is because then next turn the Scout can use her items. So the decay is gone. Goodbye, decay. And I mean, it's still a wonderful blight taken care of, so that's helpful, even though those crows are kind of nasty as far as causing us to not be very secretive. Now we're going to roll against the crows. Now, we can't defend against him. We have to elude, so let's hope he gets lucky. He, again, needs a 4. Remember, this is not the might does not, I don't think it adjusts for this card. It's just against the might of attacking the blight. So let's roll and see if he gets it. Okay, he has no particular ability to elude, so we're just going to get 1 die. And the probe defenses doesn't work against this part of the crows. So we're just going to have to roll 1 die. I hope we get lucky. A 6. We got more than lucky. Wow, that's pretty good. So remember, we needed a 4 to elude, or he would have lost 2 secrecy, but he did elude the crows again. And that is going to, I'm flipping his token. That marks the end of the turn and the end of the round. So I think the druid's going to go off to meet the wizard in the village, but we're going to move this up 1 to 8. Bummer. Now we got to roll for the our wonderful necromancer's movement. Okay, let's get the necro die out and see what he rolls. A 2. Well, is there anybody below a 2? No. So interestingly enough, wait, the druid is at a 2, but the druid, well, yes, so he did detect the druid. Good news is the druid's way over here. Bad news is, well, it's an equidistance, right? So do I get to choose? I guess I get to choose. Well, no, because if he rolled a 2 and I moved him. Let me think about this. So let me just toss this up here. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So we rolled a 2. Now, and that means he detects him. This takes him 2. This takes him 2. So I'm going to assume we get to choose. Well, going to the village actually doesn't hurt the wizard. Wizard will have to keep moving because he's going to drop. So I guess we'll have him go there because then he's not dropping a 3rd blight there. And we're going to draw a map tile in the village. Oblivion! I don't know what that does anymore. I don't remember in all these different things. But let's see what an Oblivion Omen does. I don't like the sound of it, that's for sure, right? Right? And I got to find the Oblivion. Seeing Omen, Decay, Confusion, Spectres, Liches, Revenants, Corruption, Skeletons, Dark Fog. We already did the Dark Fog, Shroud Town. Hey, oh there it is, Oblivion. Okay, here is the Oblivion Blight. Yucky. What's it do? Exhaust 1 power each turn. Okay, so that's just as long as he's there. If I'm not mistaken, I will double check Oblivion just to see. Let's see, where did Oblivion come from? Okay, it came from the expansion. At the end of each turn in the affected location. Okay, so the next turn the wizard would have to be affected by that. But the wizard is going to flee, so he's not going to stay there, and he doesn't have enough keys to open a box. So he'll run to the forest and help and get to the druid, who will probably hide and wait for the wizard to come. Yeah, that's a good idea, right? Right. Okay, guys. Well, that ended our turn, actually. That was the end of it. The necromancer dropped the Oblivion here in the village, which makes some sense, and is now looking for the wizard who he knows on his way to the druid who he knows has been successfully wandering around the forest collecting relic keys, right? So, because if we hide, he's going to get the druid will increase his secrecy. That'll help too. Help as well. So anyway, guys, that's the end of our turn. I hope you're enjoying it. That was 3 full turns. That's awesome, right? So getting closer. Our darkness track is at 8, and we have a lot going on. We do have 3 keys. We can start to try and take on the necromancers. Though it would be nice to get some more power. So I'm hoping that the scout, when the scout gets to use her book, gets some really good power. She's going to turn in that probe defense, or maybe, I don't know. Yeah, probably the probe defense, and use the book to get 2 more powers. That's slick. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing to my channel and all the kind comments you give me all the time. I really appreciate it, as well as the helpful commentary to keep me on track with rules. I miss things and forget things. It's the way it goes. But anyway, take care, guys, and I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Filming this on a Friday night. Kids are playing video games and stuff, so they're leaving me be. And hopefully I'll get this up. I will get this up over the weekend. So take care and talk to you soon.